Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Markey. He's already questioned. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Hall, do you commit to not allowing any enforcement actions to be dropped or softened for political reasons? Yes or no?
I commit to following the law and the rule of law and to acting impartially in all cases, including on decisions whether or not to dismiss actions.
So you're saying that you will not drop any cases for political reasons. Is that what you're saying?
It depends on what you mean, Senator. If you mean for policy considerations, those are absolutely appropriate to be made both in enforcement and in the regulatory context. If you're talking about partiality to parties, that will not impact my decision-making.
Well, obviously, very clearly, you should just be saying that our laws exist to protect our air, our water, our land. They're not optional, depending on how the president feels that day for political reasons. That should be your answer. I'm not hearing it. Mr. Hall, if directed by EPA leadership or the White House to turn a blind eye to violations of environmental laws, would you comply?
Senator, again, it's going to depend on the context. If you mean a blind eye and to not enforcing the law appropriately, I will enforce the law appropriately. There are many circumstances in which we enforce the law in different ways. The core goal is to bring entities into compliance, not to just take enforcement actions for that goal.
Okay, again, this question should be a gimme as well. If they ask you to break the law, if you just have to say no. Doesn't matter if you don't think it'll ever happen. That should make it even easier for you to say that you will not do it. No is actually a complete sentence. There's no reason to play politics with our clean air, our clean water, our health. Mr. Hall, will you commit to cooperating with Congress and the EPA Inspector General in any investigations of allegations of political interference, suppression of staff, findings, or unlawful weakening of enforcement? Yes or no?
I will work with Congress and OIG as is lawful, yes.
Yeah, and again, you should be able to easily agree to participate in investigations, especially if you are able to stand by your agency's actions. Mr. Hall, if EPA staff resist or report inappropriate political interference in enforcement cases, would you protect your own staff from retaliation if there is inappropriate political interference in their work?
Senator, I would follow the law, including protecting them from retaliation for any unlawful reason.
And that's excellent, because Korea EPA staff who work to protect our environment should be safe from political retaliation. Unfortunately, we've already seen that this is not the case in the Trump administration. 144 EPA employees were recently suspended after they used their First Amendment rights to express concern that the Trump administration was politicizing the EPA and preventing it from carrying out its mission to protect the public health. Mr. Hall, do you think it was appropriate to suspend EPA employees for using their constitutional rights? Yes or no?
Senator, that's not my understanding of what happened. I wasn't involved in the decision-making on that, and it's also an active investigation, so I'm not going to comment beyond saying that I don't think that's a fair characterization.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but on that, you're wrong. Mr. Hall, if confirmed, would you follow the Hatch Act?
Yes,
to be more explicit, Mr. Hall, if confirmed, would you attack Democratic lawmakers in writing using agency resources?
It is not my intention to do that, Senator.
Well, unfortunately, we have already seen that happen at Trump's EPA, since Administrator Zeldin apparently thinks being a troll through political mail is an appropriate use of agency resources. I don't see how that's illegal or efficient use of taxpayer money. I would hope that you would agree, but I know that you're not going to be able to say that publicly right now. If it did reflect your views, although I'm not sure that it does. So obviously there is a massive politicization which is taking place at the EPA. It's going to endanger our air, our water, and our lands. We're going to see vast amounts of pollution going up into the atmosphere because of AI. There has to be 80,000 new megawatts of electricity installed every year for the next 10 years. 80,000 a year. And the wind and solar tax breaks have now been killed. And unfortunately, as people move over to fossil fuels, it first won't be sufficient. And second, that which is put in place is just going to pollute the air. And there's going to be a tax on Americans. And that tax will be in new cancers, in new asthmas that were avoidable. And the EPA is going to wind up being complicit in that crime against the health of not just our planet, but the lives and lungs and health of Americans in our country. Madam Chair, I yield back.